Obviously, they have probably half the NIL budget. So the timing would be tough, but more doable now than at any point. And the timing is never going to be easy for whenever TJ Otzelberger leaves at this point. So
But
following
hey,
Dusty,
you know what could make it easier if you're TJ Goodman?
yeah, a lot of
5 days after he's announced as the Michigan head coach, there's a 15-day window where all the guys that he really likes on that Iowa State roster can come right on up to Ann Arbor.
Right. You go up to those Jamarian Bateman and you say, hey, Jamarian, it sucks, man. I feel horrible telling you this, but you know what? Instead of making $1 million next year at Iowa State, I'm going to bring you to Michigan. You're going to make $2 million. You just doubled your money, my man. I just think it fits. It fits. Michigan, like, honestly, like TJ doesn't want to be in a basketball like starved, crazy Kentucky, Indiana. We've seen that. Like he turned down Indiana basically. He wouldn't want a Kentucky, and I think it's a matter of like this would fit him and his family, Ann Arbor, all of that. So I would say he'd be one for me. Schertz has a buyout of about $5 million. Now remember, they're going to get about $4 million back, I think, for Dusty leaving. I believe, or they're going to get something back for him leaving. I think it's around $4 million. So that could pay for, whatever buyout you're basically paying for Schertz or TJ or those guys. I'll give you a couple more names. I mean, Ben McCullum.
Well, I was going to hit you with 3 more that I want to ask you about.
Go ahead.
Mark Byington at Vanderbilt.
$12 million buyout. It's like 10 or 12 million. It's a lot for Byington.
Mm-hmm.
I think he fits, but that's a lot.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to like what you have to do when you're recruiting to Vanderbilt versus recruiting to Michigan in terms of the academic part of it, and got to be able to get pretty good students. Like I think that there's some overlap there. Grant McCaslin at Texas Tech is a dude who I've become a big fan of, but that's a weird culture fit.
Yeah, he's a Texas guy. I don't know if I see him going to Michigan for this. He's obviously a hell of a coach. Again, I just wonder if Michigan doesn't get to the point where if they don't figure this thing out quickly and go to a guy quick and say, you're our guy, because they can offer, they can pay somebody $8. They were going to pay Dusty $6, I think, this year. They could pay somebody $7 or $8, and they have the NIL budget too. They have everything you need. The brand. It's honestly today, Michigan's probably a top 5 job in the country in college basketball. That's what it's become today. The only negative is you're following Dusty after winning a title.
Yeah. My take would be if you can't get TJ or Josh Schertz, then give it to Boynton. And I would probably lean towards giving it to Boynton already. I just think that when it comes to TJ and Josh,
no way you give it to Boynton yet. No way. There's no way you can give it to Mike Boynton without trying to hit him on Billy Donovan.
I think you have to try TJ and Josh Schertz. And Billy Donovan too, I guess. I'm not convinced that having spent, 11 years, 12 years in the NBA, that he's going to come back and immediately be the guy that we thought he was, or that he was before he left for the NBA. It's a different beast in college now. It is a completely different.
But he's still Billy fucking Donovan. He's still Billy.
And I think he'd be able to figure it out. But like you see guys leaving for the NBA or for retirement because they can't deal with what college basketball is now. And now you're going to ask a guy who just spent the last 11 years in the NBA to come back and jump right into. I don't see that transition being a guaranteed. If you get TJ, yes, it's going to be great. I'm convinced that if you bring in Josh Schertz, you're going to get a guy that is going to be eventually keeping Michigan at the same level that Dusty has had it at the last couple of seasons. If you can get one of those two guys, I get it. Go ahead.
Let me give you one more name. It's an interesting one. I'll be curious to see what you think of this one. Scott Drew, who's cooled off, but he hasn't had the resources the last couple of years, certainly last year at Baylor. Won a national title, fits in a lot of ways, right? Michigan does fit. He's been at Baylor. And I'm not saying he'd be one ahead of TJ today, but like Scott Drew would probably, and again, turned down a few years ago, turned down Kentucky. I think his family would probably be much more apt to sign off especially now. And also the fact that you're going not to Lexington and that fishbowl, but you're going to Ann Arbor where the fishbowl revolves around football.
And he's a Midwest guy. It's not all that far from
Yep.
from Valparaiso where he is from. So there's a lot of big names that Michigan's going to be able to get, a lot of interesting hires they have a chance to get. And I do think that they're going to, I mean, you're going to be happy with whoever you get. Now, the interesting thing, I want to talk a little bit about some of these other names that are on the roster, because that's where things get kind of hectic, right? So we talked about JP Estrella being a fit for teams that are missing somebody at the 4 spot, like the Kentucky Wildcats. What about North Carolina, another blue blood who is missing a 5? They don't have someone that come in and play the 5 at the level that we would normally expect them to do it.
Yep.
Mustafa Cham seems like a pretty good fit for what is he, the top 15 transfer in the country this year? There are teams that need point guard play.
Or Estrella. I mean, anybody, those bigs. Now, again, the one thing I'll say is if Michigan hires the right guy, they're going to be able to match money for the most part. Now, again, Estrella they got on the cheap, on a discount. I shouldn't say the cheap, on a discount. And Sham might be a similar deal, right? Might be a similar deal with, probably got him a little bit less, again, because you're talking about a big man right now. Any big man would want to go play for Dusty May because of what they've been able to do to develop them. But who knows? We just don't know how this is going to fall right now. And that's why I think Ward Manuel has to be decisive in what he does, but also you better make the right decision. You better make the right decision on these guys. Cause again, you can't be doing what Carolina did. You can't take, how long did Carolina take? How many days was that? Seemed like
too long, but it was a different point in the calendar, right? But you can't, they have to make a decision here.
Well, the problem, like you said, and you're right, here's the deal. They're not going to go in the portal for a few days, but everybody's going to call their agent right now. JP Estrella's agent is going to field calls from 20 different programs today, high major programs, that are all going to be saying, all right, what did he make at Michigan? How much, what was it, 3.5, whatever the number. All right, we can give him 5. We'll give him 5. And they could have a deal done before the new head coach is even announced. They might have a verbal contract, verbal deal done already, depending on what the situation is. I think, again, if an agent's doing their job right, they are talking to everybody starting today and finding out who's got money, who's willing to pay, who are the teams that need bigs that are going to pay. And again, you've got guards. I mean, Trey McKinney it's going to be in everybody's breakout list, Rob. Elliot Cadeau's turned into one of the best point guards in the country. Those guys are going to be in demand as well.